because you already have the best team the game is going to have. Rush mode only speeds up the attack animations of allies. Any enemy animations are played out normally during rush mode, so incredible.
It also only allows you to melee attack with your weapon and not with any spells. Should have been like Fire Emblem or Bravely Default, which just speeds up animations up to 16 times.
This happens in Persona 4. I don't remember in Persona 3, but this definitely happens in Persona 4.
No, rush mode was the same in Persona 3.
Okay, then this is the exact same thing. Okay, pause. So you want just faster animations? Like if everything is just faster, but you can control what you're doing?
Like a speed up mode?
Yeah,
no, what he wants is you pick your thing, it speeds up, and then it goes to the next person. So the animation for the...
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants a faster JRPG.
Oh, okay, then that's just sorry. I guess maybe next time. I guess. Sorry. This is for I know I'm gonna beat this person, so I can just AFK this and look something up for the next round or where I'm going in this dungeon. It's not for an optimal strategy. It's not like, oh, this is a fire weakness, so I'm just going to press start and An is going to know to use fire. What if you go, I'm going to press start, but okay, oh, she used fire. I didn't want to use fire. She's using SP.
Animations are played out normally during rush mode, so incredibly long animations you just have to sit through, like Kamoshida's lustful sip.
Pause. Why would you hold and start here?
Yeah.
You have to do a whole lot against this boss. And if you want to just skip it, you're just skipping off. You're just skipping. I don't want them to go in this, but these people worked hard on this game, so you don't. I'm sure they don't want you to just go, okay, just skip it because these people don't want to see it. No, there's a boss. Take those 15 seconds, dude. You talking about wasting time, and you putting in 15-minute musical openings? Get that garbage out of here.
I have, and I did.
Yes.
And you know what? I never thought, Jesus Christ, again. I never once thought that. It was just the animation. I was like, okay, what is he about to do?
It gives you time to think. Okay, if he kills this person, then I got to do this. Got to revive this person. It's whatever, dude. And this is looking like maybe 7 seconds. And a little bit longer. It's like about 10.
Status elements on your teammates also count, so anytime an enemy charms or enrages your teammate, the rush mode becomes completely useless. You just have speed lines on the top and bottom to create the illusion that combat is going faster, but this doesn't speed up the overall time of battles at all. The interrogation trigger is very inconsistent, since you can knock down an enemy, kill a different enemy, and then at times, even though there's only one enemy left, it will not trigger an interrogation. I was unable to discern what made the difference.
Did it ever? I don't remember exactly.
I don't think that's the way it works. Like, I don't know.
Could you press play? Because you might be about to show it actually.
Interrogation. I was unable to discern what made the difference between times it did and times it didn't.
I don't know. That's a mistake.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem.
Yeah.
I personally don't remember it not triggering for me.
Yeah.
But maybe it did, and I just don't remember it doing it at that time. And that's
a problem.
5's combat does very little to keep things fresh, with almost
and Persona 3 and 4 do it.
Oh boy, that was way too in sync. But yeah, no, it was exactly. This improved so much in the fighting. It's completely night and day, to the point where I was like, hey, Mike, play Persona 4. Then I was like, man, he played Persona 5. He might not like it.
Yeah,
just based off of the battle system and just going, there's so much less. And I don't want him to like, yeah, Persona 4 sucks. And I'm like, Persona 4 don't suck. So yeah, no, what are you talking about?
You want something that doesn't keep things fresh? Dragon Quest games. That is really just hit button to attack. And it's, oh my God.
No change to how combat encounters and tactics work throughout the game. The only noticeable real change comes from once Futaba joins your party, where she
can we get an example of something that does really change?
Yeah.
I guess in like Final Fantasy X, you can like skill tree into other people's.
Yeah.
So like Waka can steal and use thunder. But other than that, people get stronger. You get stronger. What?
There's also Final Fantasy VII, which had like materia where you can make Cloud a healer and a fire person, stuff like that. So you can always just be switching up what a person can do or specialize in or whatever.
Can you do that like on the fly? Can you just go, okay, Cloud heal man, Cloud strong man?
It's got to be outside of battle. You equip the materia.
Oh, okay.
It's just like accessory. So yeah, you equip the materia, and now you have all these things.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy VII.
Randomly buff you in any battle, or to change cognition, knocking down the enemies and giving you an instant interrogation. Every time you meet a new enemy, the first thing you're going to do is try out every element that you have access to until you find out which ones are weak to. Then once you figure that out, every subsequent encounter with said demon, you're just going to spam the same weakness for knockdowns if you want.
Unless either you don't have the SP or you're a big fist monkey who just fist monkeys things. Why are you talking about like you gotta start using strategy? What happened to I'ma just punch him with my 3 strongest people?
I have never not done that in any JRPG in my entire life. Oh, this thing's weak to fire? Okay, here's my fire person or fire attacks. Why would I start using wind against that? I don't need to. I know what it's weak against. Let's get it
this
done.
Floating fish in the air. I wonder what it's weak to. Thunder? Okay, I guess I'm not using anything else. What are you talking about?
To interrogate them for money or items, or just use physical attacks to blow them away. Admittedly, turn-based combat.
So that's 3 separate things that you can do with an enemy that you know what they're weak against. Well, what's he complaining about?
Turn-based combat in JRPGs is a hard formula to innovate completely on, but many games in the genre have managed to do it. Final Fantasy X has these.
Wow, you were completely correct.
No, because that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Yeah, if you've mentioned Final Fantasy VII, boy.
To customize your characters, and summons being earned throughout the entire game. Final Fantasy XIII has the paradigm shift mechanic. Bravely Default and Bravely Second allow each of the 4 party members to be any job in the game.
I hate that type of thing.
Yeah, no, because you just go, well, here it's a magic person. Here's 3 teams of magic people. You go, there's no strategy there.
It really takes away. I'm not diversity,
Uniqueness.
not even uniqueness. Where you're trying out a bunch of different things.
Trial and error.
It doesn't matter. It really takes away, experimentation. It really takes away experimentation of what's a team I personally enjoy. Okay, I have a healer. Do I want a black mage or a big magic person? Hey, this dude is physically strong. I like that. Stuff like that. Anytime I go into a JRPG, I need at least one character that can heal.
Yeah, but then everybody can just heal.
But if it's just like anybody can heal, I'm just gonna go, okay, I'm just gonna pick the 3 people I like the most. I don't care.
But then that also starts to break down the character stuff, because now Waka's using magic and he's this physical person. Now Lulu's walking up and punching people when she's just magic person. That's not their personality. That's not how they were trained. It's just like now they are just magic person. Now this person is just strong, when before they had a 13 attack and Waka had like an 80 attack.
Hundreds of possible combinations for your party. Even classics like Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII have the material injunction system.
Dude, we literally mentioned 2 of the 5 games he mentioned.
But again, Persona 3 and 4, better games as quoted by you, does the same thing.
And again, this isn't an inherent problem that we need to be able to switch things up at any given time to keep things fresh and interesting. If you enjoy the battle system, you can enjoy it 80 hours in as much as you did when you were 8 hours in.
Yes, and something as simple as, hey, now this person, instead of doing an ice attack to one person, does it to all of them, can freshen things up. You've named 5 things that do things different, as opposed to the thousands of other JRPGs, which are just like, character gets stronger, get better, villains get stronger and better, fight.
the materia and junction systems respectively. In Persona 5, as your characters level up, they earn new abilities in combat, but almost always are just stronger versions of things you already have, with a few exception to passive abilities or castable debuffs that make enemies that were immune to their attribute no longer have the immunity.
That's a good strategy.
They all that you get is a better version, and also these two other things you can get. What are you talking about?
That can help out your character from people that had weaknesses or resistance to them.
You can only get stronger, and also you can get other things that are not just stronger versions. Okay, well that sounds like
that
three
adds
things.
a layer of depth to the strategy that this character
that
has.
sounds like three things that I can get. If I got Makoto, I know that she can get a better heal, she can get a better all-out attack, she can get a better everybody's buff, she can get a better knock down this person negation to physical. I mean not physical. What is she? Nuke. She's nuke.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of things there, and you just go, okay, in 2 levels, I know that I'm gonna get a stronger thing. Why is this a problem?
And then you look at your 8 given moves and go, okay, I have to take something away for this thing, or do I just want to lose that thing because I don't think it's as good as the things I have at the moment? You can always do experimentation of like, hey, I'm going to take away this move, and in the next playthrough, I'm going to have them use this, whatever you want to do.
That were immune to their attribute no longer have the immunity, leaving no room for meaningful choices since taking new abilities with higher numbers rather than keeping the old abilities is the right choice every time.
Pause. No. What if you have a bunch of things that you need, and also, hey, this person can use a high attack, a high fire on one person, or medium on everybody? Which one do you keep? That's a legit option that you go, which one would be better?
Yeah, I've struggled with a choice like that before, where it's like, do I want the everybody or just the stronger one person? And a lot of times I'll look at whatever my character has. It's like, okay, that character has a persona that has the multiple people, so I'm just going to pick the stronger one person thing.
To keep Bufu once you have access to Bufula. There's even potential already in the game's mechanics to spice up the combat, like the different weather effects causing shadows and mementos to have different ailments. But since every weather effect is hard-coded to happen on specific days, coupled with the fact that this doesn't affect any shadows and
then you go and do things that you go, okay, this is gonna benefit me to do this on this day. I have 18th in I said it 7 times. The place that you go into that's not the dungeon.
Mementos.
Mementos. You got 18 mementos piling up, and it's a cold day, and you know that they're gonna be moving slower. So you do it then. It happens 5 days. Okay, guess what you got to do in those 5 days? You can either, that's where your choice comes in. You can either go into Mementos, your palace, or you can just ignore and go, okay, this is not going to benefit me to do this today. I wanted to go talk to Haru. I only got 60 days to talk to Haru. I'm running out of time.
affect any shadows in main storyline palaces, they end up not having any real effect on gameplay. The setup for
it does in Mementos. What you go into a boss battle, and the boss battle just automatically just get down 600 damage every turn because it's inflicted with pollen, and then you just block, and then you just win. That's not satisfying. So they went, okay, there's no way to stop this, so we just don't have it in the palace.
With the stealth and ambush mechanic also wasn't very good, with the only constant throughout the game is how inconsistent it is. Sometimes shadows see you down massive hallways, sometimes you could walk right up to them and still get the ambush, sometimes you could sneak up on them and don't get the ambush. Since the stealth in the game is very shallow, only allowing you to take cover in corners and behind select objects, it has to make compromises because without them, there would be no way to approach certain situations. When going upstairs with no railings or walls, the shadows would have a clear line of sight with you, but because there isn't any way for you to take cover and ambush them, there has to be an invisible wall where they're unable to see you.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Most level design is straight hallways,
but
they made it
that doesn't break the game or anything. That's like, well, this could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, agreed.
But that's not like a whole big thing.
straight hallways, they made it so you can take cover and cannot be detected no matter what, even if a shadow would see you or walks right past you and brushes right up against your body when you aren't even covered by the dim lighting of the room. This makes stealth.
I think those are anomalies because I don't remember that happening.
I don't doubt it does because the way games work is very weird.
Yeah, but he's saying it like it happens every single time. I don't think that happens every single time. Just like how he used the lucky punch and went, "Oh, you could just get a critical." Yeah, I think these are just anomalies that this happens with. But I remember I just played Royal, so I don't remember exactly P5 Raw.
Feel completely pointless, because once the illusion is shattered, you'll never find the need to ever take cover until the very last second before an enemy would spot you. The entire stealth mechanic felt like a way to waste the player's time by having you have to wait until the ambush prompt comes up and engage.
You don't have to wait. You can just run up and attack them.
That's just if you want that additional damage or whatever.
Turn. I think it's the turn first.
Yeah, you don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to. You don't want to use it. You're literally not forced to use it unless there are a couple times where you're forced to use it, but that doesn't affect battles or anything. Yeah, no, don't use it.
If you don't want to.
Yeah, no.
If you don't want your time wasted, just run up to the person.
Yeah, you're wasting your own time. The game isn't wasting your time.
In combat, since the only thing you can do while stealthing is ziplining between walls and cover. The game lacks very basic features that can be found in any other stealth game, like crouch walk.
It's not a stealth game.
Yeah, no.
It's got a stealth mechanic. This isn't Metal Gear Solid.
No.
Or wall shimmying, so Joker is either in a full sprint on through the dungeon, or he's sitting in cover waiting to ambush a shadow, with no in-between. Now you could just say, well, you don't have to.
This here isn't crouch walking because it's context sensitive where it would break the illusion of stealth if it didn't have you hunch over, but it's effectively the same as walking around.
How about a punctuation?
Play like that and you can easily still just sneak around. And to that I say, you shouldn't have to put rules onto the game so you can experience it a certain way because it fails to deliver on what it's trying to achieve. I shouldn't have to force myself to do stealth when it doesn't matter because the game fails to be a stealth game.
Who's forcing you?
Who's forcing you? And it's not a stealth game. It's a game with a stealth mechanic. That's like saying Metal Gear Solid 2 was a first-person shooter because you can go into first-person mode and shoot people. It feels that it's a first-person shooting game because I can't walk around and shoot in first-person mode. I gotta stand still. That's your argument.
This is not a good ratio.
It's not terrible.
It's not good.
It's 23 minutes in and we're an hour and 20 in. Dude, that last video we did was 18 minutes and we did 3 hours.
Hundo.
This is
still not a good ratio.
It's not terrible.
This is almost 4 times as much.
That's not terrible.
It's not great. It's not great. There's a lot of music that was just. There's a lot of faffing about as well.
That djembe was an hour and a half for 15 minutes.
I'm just saying, this ain't a good ratio.
Much abandoned this mechanic by the end of the game with the final 2 dungeons being literal straight hallways, but we'll get more into that specifically when talking about those dungeons later.
Those they have some.
The world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come two.
I'm not laughing, but this is funny. It's going for an appropriate amount of time as well.
Different strokes it takes, different strokes it takes, different strokes to move the world. Different strokes it takes, different strokes it takes, different strokes.
Jesus.
This could not be cut down any further.
The tightest 5 hours you're gonna see.
You can't get those breaths between your sentences, but you can dedicate 40 seconds to different strokes.
Now let's move on to the bulk of where the problems in the game lie, with each character's confidant. This is where you get to know characters more intimately outside of the main story, and they often follow a single narrative thread spread out through each of the Arcana's 10 ranks. For characters outside...
Isn't that every Persona game?
Sounds like it.
3 and 4 at least.
the main party with a few exceptions. This is how you'll learn everything there is to know about them. And then for the main cast, you'll learn more about their past and personal problems. We'll look at concrete examples as we go through each character, but there is a few core problems with the way confidants are handled. Namely, how many social links in this game are padded with a lot of filler just to reach the required 10 ranks. How the characters often show growth and change that are completely ignored in the main story, and the way that they're written to mostly only include Joker and this single confidant, which in some cases doesn't make a lot of sense. By far the biggest issue with S-Links in this game is
just like in the other Persona games. Naoto and the main protagonist just went on a mission to find something. No help from anybody else, even though it would have been advantageous.
Huh?
Just like in the other ones.
S-Links in this game is mementos.
Are we gonna get a song
Mementos
for
is
15
probably
minutes?
one of the worst plot devices I've ever seen.
Nope.
While it is used well in a couple of cases, for the most part, Mementos is shoehorned into a story that was moving forward perfectly fine without it, and only serves to take away agency from the characters.
It's about changing people's heart. The people that are your confidants have somebody that is putting them down, so you can go into Mementos to change their heart instead of a actual palace.
What's the problem?
And this is not required.
I see no issues here.
Affected, and to skip the entire process of working through issues in one's life, instead solving every issue permanently with magically changing people's hearts. There's no
That's the way the main story goes.
Yes!
They didn't go up to Kamashi and go, "You're being a bad person. Look within yourself." They stole his heart.
And hey, if I'm getting beaten and I can press a button to go, I don't want to get beaten no more, change, and they change, I'm not going to be like, well, you didn't work through that. No!
thought ever given to whether someone could go back to being bad if their situations worsen, or that someone may have problems other than just someone's being mean to them in their life. This is perhaps best shown.
Absolutely. But most people's issues are this person is being mean to me, and it's a person being irrationally evil. And then you can just change. It's not like they're just like, hey, you can't go outside at 11 o'clock. You're 3 years old. Get back in here. Change them. No, it's reasonable stuff. It's just like, this Yakuza guy pulled a gun on me. These people are extorting money from me. I can't have any friends because my mom is too overbearing. I'm a freaking shogi fraud because my mom just wants fame. How can you in 10 turns while still focusing on these people go, okay, lady, change your entire life, please. You sit down and talk to them in one social link. Wouldn't that be even more unreasonable?
Yeah, it's you don't really learn about these things until like the 8th, 9th, 10th time you've talked to the person. So now you're gonna spend one of your sessions of the day to go over to her mom and go, hey, why are you treating her like this? Oh, you're right.
Hey, you fixed it. What? No.
It's no different, really.
In Kawakami's confidant. So let's get into it. Kawakami is your homeroom teacher, temperance confidant, and nighttime maid. Her S-Link has an extremely slow start. The only thing you know about her after your...
No. It has a slow start, absolutely. But it's a build up. It's making you care about this person. She's going, I'm so tired. I don't like working as a maid. I'm poor. Why are you poor? Why are you working as a maid? Oh, well, and then she leaves. It's a mystery. It's making you think about why is she doing this thing if she's clearly tired, she doesn't like it, and she has a pretty good job as a teacher.
And she's not opening up to her student of why she's poor and a maid.
So, yes, it has a slow start, but as long as you go, I want to see where this show goes, you're invested.
Dude, you want the Naruto instead of the One Piece.
You want person out the gate just go like, hey, I'm your maid. I'm being extorted. Let me sweep now, please.
Right, and then you want to spend 8 social links trying to fix the problem.
What?
As opposed...
I want to get to know this person. I want to know their struggles and everything.
First 4 ranks is that she's deeply indebted to somebody. It's only in her 5th rank where you...
Pause. Dude, that was not even 1 second.
Originally, it was for her sister, but this was brushed away in the next rank as a lie.
And then you go, why is she lying? What is going on? She goes, my sister, she has medical bills that I need to pay. You go, okay, I like this character because she's doing something that she does not like. She's tired, and she's not getting a whole lot of money for it for her sister. That's fantastic. Oh, that's a lie? What's actually going on? That's number one, she would lie, and number two, that she would still need to do this.
She's deeply indebted
Oh,
to
and
someone.
also, you don't get to do this every single day. You get to do this like 2 times a week, maybe. So you just go, I want to know what's going on with you, but I got to wait until next week.
And if you don't care about what's going on with her, stop calling her.
Stop calling her or just press start and see that little fast forward. You ain't got to see none of this.
It's only in her 5th rank where you learn more about her, with her telling you the story of Takase, the problem student she used to tutor, and how she was forced to stop tutoring him, but after he died in a car crash, she was threatened by his parents with legal action unless she paid them. In rank 6, you see her getting sick, but is still asking for more and more shifts to cover the payments. And she confides in you that she's happy that it was you who learned about her secret. In rank 7, you learn that she's in the hospital and you go to visit her. But while you're there, Takase's parents show up and ask her for more money.
Yeah, and they're pieces of shit.
And they're garbage.
They're trash. You want the main character? You want Joker to go talk to them? Or do you want him to steal their hearts?
I ain't got nothing to say to these pieces of shit.
I got nothing to say to you. Your heart is mine.
Continuing with their threats. Kawakami almost gives up, but you convince her not to, and she regains her strength. This whole scene only
Yes, amazing. What's the problem?
What's the problem?
This whole scene only serves as a way to paint the parents as being cartoonishly evil.
Yes, because
Yes.
there are cartoonishly evil people out there.
100%.
And they're horrendous.
Hey, guess what? The people who don't have something cartoonishly evil in their life, they're not a confidant.
They're not looking for the Phantom Thieves to help them.
Or and guess what? There's one confidant in there that's not like Carolina Justine, who I love, that doesn't have a cartoonishly evil person, and that's the son, the politician. He doesn't have a cartoonishly evil person, but it's just a still straightforward thing. But anyway, not to mention they forced Takase to work many part-time jobs as a 16-year-old to play his living because they hated him so much that they wanted him to suffer, and worked him to the point where he collapsed from exhaustion and got hit by a car and died. Yeah. People are cartoonishly evil.
Do you think there are parents out there that aren't really horrible to their
Yeah.
children? If there weren't, then we wouldn't have child protective services. These agencies exist because parents are horrendous at times. There are people that just beat their kids for the of it. You think there's not people out here using their kids as a means to get their own money? You don't think there's parents pushing these little 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old girls into beauty pageants? Dude, what are you talking about? Yes, these people are cartoonishly evil, but cartoonishly evil people exist and they suck. And do you want him to just go talk to them and change their entire life perspective in a 14-minute conversation?
It is also a game and hyper realistic. I don't want to see
Hyper realized.
I don't want to see them just going like, "Hey, they're a bit of a douche." No, if they could have brought in a whip and started whipping her, that'd be like, "Yeah, let's get them." I want it up to 10 because because we've seen what she's going through. All these characters, we see what they're going up until like Social Link 5 or 6, when the evil person comes in and starts going, "I'm evil." Then you go,
Twirling
okay,
their mustache.
I like this person. This person is a piece of crap. Let me go help them.
And if I don't like the person, the confident I'm doing, and I don't really care about the evil person, guess what? I'm hitting that start
I'm
button.
hitting that starter. I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Like that fortune teller woman.
what?
This is back in my mind.
Dude,
It's been a
she's-
long
she's
time.
Great.
It's been
great.
a long time.
She's
I
great.
think her personality in the very beginning was just like too, and I was like, if this is what she's gonna be,
Yeah, no,
start.
No, dude, she's great.
Okay,
She's
I'm
great.
gonna
I
have
love
to
her.
revisit that eventually. But at that point, I was just like, start.
There's only like 2 where I'm just like start in Persona 5.
someone who is in a hospital after collapsing from overworking. Now
Yes.
things start to get good though. The next time you meet her, she tells you that she's going to quit both her jobs for one that makes more money so she can keep paying them. You ask her if this is really what she wants to do with the rest of her life. This causes her to have a revelation and stand her ground about her life. She decides she's going to turn her life around, and the only real way to make up for Takase's death is to ensure situations like this will never happen again. Not with money, but taking good care of her students. She says she'll protect all of her students from now on, and including you, and that she'll stop paying Takase's parents. And then she thanks you for helping her regain her resolve. She then goes on to fulfill her dreams of being a great teacher. A good ending that wraps up her story nicely.
Oh no, he's gonna go, but in the day-to-day stuff, she's still acting like...
No, he's gonna go, but in actuality, this happens because these people are still extorting her.
Winner pick the next thing?
Booyah.
Except that's not actually what happens, because Mementos needs to be shoehorned in here for some reason. The next time you see her at school, she's being threatened by
Dude, don't you challenge me and revisit it? What? How dare?
I think I've lost 3 times.
What's wrong with you?
Dude.
Don't you challenge me?
Why are you so in the mindset of these terrible analysts? This is horrible.
Dude, don't you how dare?
I thought I had
Get
it.
that garbage out of here.
Because early on he was talking about how, the memento stuff happens in your confidant and links, but then in the plot they don't act like, and I'm like, okay, so he's gonna go to the next day and the teacher.
Hey, me.
Okay, but he's going into, memento still needs to be shoehorned in. Those people don't change. They're gonna keep trying to extort her. What is she gonna do? Just say no?
Yes, and then they immediately just go, okay, we're gonna tell everybody that you're working as a maid and a sex worker.
So wait,
hey, could you not do that, please? You know what?
Except that's not actually what happens, because Mementos needs to be shoehorned in here for some reason. The next time
we told you the reason.
she's being threatened by the parents again, not only with the legal threats they've been using up until now, but they also reveal that they know she's a sex worker, causing her to lose all of her resolve immediately.
Yeah, because she's a teacher trying to help her students, and now these two people are going, we're going to get you fired because you're a sex worker and a maid, and we're going to tell everybody this if you don't keep paying us. So now she's stuck in the exact same situation as she had before, except now she has literally no hope. So what do? Go talk to the parents for 15 minutes trying to save her?
Or do you use your magical power that can instantly change people?
To steal their heart.
And have to go to Mementos to change Takase's parents'
Pause. No, you don't. That storyline can end right there. You don't ever have to speak with Kawakami again. You don't have to do anything. In order to advance her storyline, absolutely. But in terms of the story itself, no.
Ranks, and she tells you about how they returned all their money and apologized to her. And now she could finally get the fresh start as a teacher, and she thanks you for helping her and knows that you're a phantom thief. The last few ranks of her S-Link are a very good example of the problem that Mementos brings into the narrative of the game. Kawakami could have easily, and probably would have, pushed back against Takase's parents.
How? If they're going, you're a sex worker and we're going to tell people, do you think she can go to another town and teach? And they go, hey, you were fired for being a sex worker. We don't want you here.
What are the recourses here?
What is her options? Keep paying them or don't, and let them tell everybody about her and wreck her life. And, you could say, she could say that sex work stuff is a lie, but there's proof she was a maid.
And also, the maid shop is like, there's also a sister shop that's a sex work shop. So they could just go, well, you're linked to them. So who's to say you're not doing both?
We know you're doing this, so it's very possible you're doing the other thing too.
Especially considering her claims that she was going to protect all of her students. And
how's she just doing that if she fired?
Yes! They can walk out of there right now and just go, Kawakami is a prostitute. Here's pictures. Call this number right now and request Becky and watch Kawakami show up.
teacher who isn't bothered by rumors, but you are never given
It's not rumors because she is absolutely a maid.
To the point where there's a teacher earlier that's going, Kawakami, what are you doing at night? This is very suspicious. And you as Joker have to come up and go, oh, she's helping me studying at night. And the teacher believes you. Even something like that is just like, she didn't know what was going on, but she was still just like asking questions and stuff. If you got hard proof, she's out of there.
her up, calm her down, or even meet with her at all until you go to Mementos and magically fix her life.
Pause. Let me cheer you up. Somehow. Hey, don't worry about them. Don't worry about you constantly being overworked, underpaid, tired.
You just got out the hospital 3 days ago.
Being extorted. You going, I'm going to change my life for the better. I'm going to stop paying them. Forget about all that. It's fine. But then the next day, it's not fine because all that stuff comes back. She still got to pay them. She's still overworked. What are you talking about?
Their shadows. Kawakami takes no part in improving her own life, a problem created out of nowhere.
How can she?
How, indeed.
It would have been better for you to pick a different confidant.
Yeah, this is really bad.
Like the shogi player. It would have been better for you to do the shogi player.
There's no way out of this.
Stand up to your mom. That you can go. This you can't do anything about this.
They have dirt over you. You have years of guilt weighing down on you as well. So there's nothing.
Only for things to get fixed when you fix them for her, completely taking away the agency she had when she could have still had a strong conclusion with the option of romance or not flowing naturally. Instead, she becomes indebted to you so you could call her to your house for free to make coffee, curry, tools, and do your laundry. The message of this link of standing up to shitty people who take advantage of your...
She literally did, and then they went, well, you're a sex worker and we're going to tell everybody about it, and she buckled.
Did.
Because she can't protect her students if she's not there to do so.
She can't go, yeah, do it. And then they do it and then she's just fired. They're not going to be like, oh, you're a sex worker, but that's fine. Stay here. No, she's out of there.
She stood up to us. I guess we can't do anything about this. Are you going to call their bluff?
It's not call their bluff.
It's not a bluff. There's proof.
Nature really falls flat when you have the ability to turn around and do the exact same thing to her. You could call her to come do things.
She goes from being a maid 2 nights a week to 7 nights a week. Yeah, she goes from, because she needed the money as opposed to now she has unlimited free time and she can come and do whatever you want because you changed her life, provably. So of course she's going to be helpful to you.
It's not like you're the fourth client of that night.
You go there for 2 hours. She can walk there, which she has done before. Bang, bang, boom. There's no problem here.
For you every single night for the rest of the game after you complete her S-Link. She's never unavailable or busy with any other student ever. This isn't even a call out to anyone who uses this mechanic because it's a core component of the game. This is just a failing of the narrative since it's meant to give you an extra action during your night slot, but this is done in an incredibly tactless way. There are many different things they could have done to give you the housekeeping perk without compromising Kawakami's arc up until this point. You could have just called and paid for any of the other maids through the maid service to come to your house and do your things during the week. Maybe Kawakami could negotiate a special deal to keep it for free or give you a discount once you finish her storyline. Maybe have it...
I don't want other maids. I want Kawakami. I helped her. She's thankful to you. So she's going to go, I don't care what I'm doing right now. I'm going to help you make curry for 2 hours. For 2 hours! Dude, you acting like it's freaking from 4 to 12.
So she could come over for free and do it for you on the weekend if you still have to pay for the service during the week with another maid, similar to how dates and subsequent hangouts are only available with her on Friday nights and Saturday nights when she's not busy with schoolwork. But with the way they handled it, the game just completely undermines its own narrative and weakens its message. One of the first of many examples of the game working against itself when it really didn't need to. This also plays into the issue that character growth is not translated to the main story, since the game has to be completable without doing any S-Links. Characters can't act on changes that they experience in their own personal story since it would be jarring for players who didn't complete their confidants. If you do complete their S-Links, then the characters you see at the...
Isn't this a problem with all of the Persona games?
Yes, it is. it could be implemented better. But then you gotta like completely take out this whole thing and slot it over here and put it over here. It's a lot easier to just go.
They're acting the way they act.
Yeah, they're acting the way they. It's not like she was real mad aloof. She was still like doing stuff in class or anything.
It's really hard to have the seventh social link for her where she's like, I'm going to stand up for myself and do better by my students. And then that's, 6 months into the game. And then at any given time, you can hit that 8th and she's back to normal.
Yeah.
It's hard to do some stuff like that.
It's not super good, but dude.
And that's just one character. I mean, you're talking about all of the confidants. At any given time, you can have a 2, a 7, a 4, and a 3, and they all got to act differently from how they acted beforehand based on what's going on.
This is already a huge game with a bunch of stuff. It make it massive. That's Heavy Rain type stuff where you're just completely changing characters' interactions and dynamics and stuff.
This is a problem with games that give you like choices and optional things and characters on the side doing different things, where sometimes it's going to fall by the wayside in service of the main story. Yes, it's absolutely a problem, but it's not a problem of Persona 5. It's a problem of video games in general. Some video games are very good at doing that. Some like Fallout 3 just throw their hands up and go, well, whatever, I don't care. You'll get characters that quote unquote change, but there's no real change for what they did or in service of the story.
Yeah.
And again, this was a problem in the other Persona game. Now, that's not to say it's not a problem now.
Yeah.
But you can't call it out on this and just go, Persona 5 did this and it's bad, while saying 2 other Persona games before it were good that did the exact same thing. This has been 30 minutes of, this is a problem of Persona games, but Persona 5.
And are not the same character that shows up in the main story. You also only get
Pause. Why would you show her talking to Kamoshida going, she's not the same person in the main story? That's level 10 stuff and not even talking to her at that point.
only get one real scene with Kawakami in the main game that isn't a romantic event, that being the field trip to the TV station, which is only shortly after you get her link, so you're at most only able to have had 3 ranks into it. The game doesn't even give her any chances to show her character growth once you have completed.
So how do you know they didn't do it?
And also, between rank, I think it's 6 and 7, if you do it in the summer, you can't do any more because you have to go into class and show her being a lot more attentive and nice to students. Mm. That's when you go back and go, that's when they go back and go, hey, you've changed. And then you continue her path. But yeah, you get that one scene, but that's about it. But yeah, you're exactly right.
Link. She talks all about helping and protecting every student she has, but still sounds just as bored in class, in addition to always being available to be your coffee slave.
Pause. Yes, she's bored because she's like, you guys get a summer vacation. I wish I could have a vacation. I gotta work. What? She's an adult
Ifumi
person.
Is a soft-spoken.
Ifumi is the one you should have went for the first time. That was bad.
You can meet most nights at the church. In each of her first 5 ranks, you only get little bits of information about her. You learn she does photo shoots and interviews even though she doesn't like them for the sake.
You know why? Walk up to somebody you don't know and just start striking a conversation with them and see how much they tell you about themselves.
Day one.
Now, talk to them like 5-6 more times and see how much they talk to you about.
Was this a problem in other Persona games?
I believe it was.
I see.
I believe it was.
For family, that her mom micromanages all of her shogi matches and photo shoots, that she's not very well liked by her senior shogi players, and that her dad used to be a shogi master before he became ill and her mother became his caretaker. For rank 6, you finally start to...
That was the first 5 ranks? That's a lot of information!
Her insecurities. She tells you that she's very uncomfortable with all the interviews she has to do because they get too personal, that no one likes or will practice with her in the shogi world, and she considers getting a normal job. But after you remind her...
Nope, you get that before, where she's just like, oh man, I gotta have an interview. You go, how do you feel about that? She goes, I don't like it.
She's just offering more.
Yep, it's not 5 or 6. It's way before that.
love for shogi, she decides to bear with the negatives. In her 7th rank, she tells you that her mom has set up a match against a famous pro, and shares that her dream is to become the first woman in the professional shogi league, even though she's insecure about her skills against a pro. The next time you meet her, she tells you about how her mom wants her to throw the match and then make a comeback for a great underdog story to make her even more popular. Now realizing that her mother never cared about shogi at all and was just using it for a means into turning her into an idol and living vicariously through her. Then comes the
That's very much like beauty pageant moms. And you know what? I can't walk up to a beauty pageant mom and go, "Hey, you need to stop doing this." They would need a lot of therapy to change their self.
This is a whole insecurity within themselves. You can't just go, "Hey, change your life, change the way you're thinking that you've had up until your childhood, up until now." In this 15-minute one social link rank.
Confrontation with her mother, where she talks about how she plays shogi for the love of the sport and that she's her own person, right? Nope. The next thing that happens is you go to Mementos to change her mom's heart, who says she just wanted Hifumi to be rich and famous, and reveals that she's been using blackmail to fix all of her matches up until this point. After beating her, this magically fixes Hifumi's entire life for some reason. The next 3 ranks...
No, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Because the point that you're missing out was she was ranked up against a bunch of bums. So she climbed up the rank against a bunch of fixed players. So, and then once it came to go time, she lost because she wasn't very good. But then she goes, "I'm going to be better."
The story, as she learns about her mother, tries to win against the pro, loses anyway, and then decides to quit the shogi league and restart as an amateur, thanking you for sticking with her through this entire ordeal. Another story where the agency is taken away from the confidant so you can magically fix their life for them by going to Mementos. It's so annoying. There is an incredibly...
Sure.
Absolutely. But do you think her mom would have changed her heart if you would have just went to go... If she confronted her mom, like, "I don't want to do interviews," you think her mom would have just been like, "You're completely right and I fixed all your matches and I'm sorry"?
No.
Or would she just go, "You're doing this"?
Do you think he's going to go through every confidant and say
Nah.
this?
He's probably going to do rule of 3, maybe 3. And it's just going to be like, and you see what I'm saying. And you could point this out for every confidant. It's the same thing over and over. Learn a little bit about them. Social link 8, mementos, change their life.
Moment when Hifumi could have decided to stand up for herself and talk
Yeah,
to her mom
she definitely
when
should.
she was asked to throw the match against the pro. But again...
But she's already talked about struggling with her own self-confidence.
Oh, dear.
What?
Look at all these.
Are you serious? She's gonna go through all of them?
He's going to go through all of them.
The main story isn't even until 2 hours and 15 minutes in.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, yeah, you couldn't condense this stuff.
You couldn't yada. You see where I'm going with this. The confidant suck. Moving on. 15-minute intro song.
But again, you just said she struggled with her self-confidence. So she's not confident enough to stand up for her mom, and you've given her no reason to.
Joker saves the day by going to Mementos, fighting her mom even though he wasn't asked to, and then they even throw in the twist that her mom has been orchestrating her entire career up until this point, complicating everything even more. It's understandable that she would have continued the path of becoming an idol since she thought the family needed money, but her mom reveals that she's even been paying private investigators to dig up blackmail material against her opponents, raises a lot of issues that are never addressed or followed up on. I guess the family was never really poor, and if they were, I assume it's because the money was spent on these private investigators. And on that note, what happened?
She could have just said we're poor.
Mm-hmm.
She could have just lied like she has been lying.
Yeah, she could have lied to her daughter, like, "We're poor. We need this money." Maybe they're not super well off, but maybe they're comfortable. And doing this allows them to get more money. So if she spends $5,000 to hire a private investigator, and she's making $10,000 from interviews and TV appearances and shogi matches, I mean, you're plus $5,000 on that one.
Her sick dad. She mentions at one point that the situation was so bad that he couldn't even play shogi in bed anymore. What is he doing now? How is he doing? Did he know about the lie Hifumi's mom was telling? Hifumi only agreed to do interviews and photo shoots to help with the household income to take better care of her dad. And considering the lengths her mom was willing to go to make her popular with shogi, it seems entirely plausible that she might have even been an involvement in worsening his condition.
Based on what?
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, you're just implanting some
dear.
whole different stuff on this. You're going, she's a Black Widow. Based on, because she blackmailed some people. For all you know, she could have did that because her husband's health deteriorated. It's just like, we really needed this money. I'm spending $5,000, but we're also earning $5,000 every time. So we're up $5,000 every time to help pay for my husband's medical bills. I didn't see a way out except doing this. That's just as plausible as her poisoning her husband.
Better sob story that the media would have absolutely eaten up. None of these questions are ever answered, even in the addition.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
But it's also her personal life. You don't want to. We're not allowed to just go to her house and go, "Hey, what's up? Hey, your mom still changed or anything?" It's a bit of a problem, but it's also bigger fish to fry.
And maybe they do in Persona 6.
And maybe this is also an issue in the other Persona games.
Dates that you can do after the rank 10, and this makes for a very unsatisfying story. On top of her story leaving a lot to be desired, there's also some...
Yeah, there's a lot to be desired left on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We said from the beginning, this is the one you should have went to. Not the maid.
You only get to talk to her 10 times. There's a lot going on there. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Weirdness with how the game handles the combat abilities she gives you. In her storyline, she's shown to be nowhere near the professional level, but on the gameplay side of things, she gives you several new...
Not nowhere near. She's still pretty good.
She's just not professional level. So she's going, hey, here's a strategy. Move this piece here.
She still knows what she's talking about. She's teaching you strategies. You're going like, hey, sacrifice your pawns in order to move closer.
Tactics, like removing turn delays, allowing you to switch characters mid-combat, a strategy that's even named the Togo system. The strangest thing is the blurb that Sai gives you when you start Hifumi's confidant, saying to do what the Phantom Thieves did required, in quotes, advanced strategies, but the tactics your crew employed were not made by...
Yes, she's still teaching you strategies that a typical person doesn't know. Like, if I don't know the game of chess, and somebody's teaching me all the strategies that you can use in chess, killing people's flanks and all this other stuff, and you go, oh, okay, I'm learning more about how strategies work. So then you create your own tactics in your mind based off learning how strategies work.
And she also goes, you can start off by doing this maneuver, and there's a name for it. So she's teaching you about the names for it, and then maybe you go off and learn about it a little bit more. She knows the names of it, so she's got to have at least some sort of mindset for it.
The wits of an amateur, but rather a professional who regularly deals with such tactics. So Hifumi can supposedly invent incredible pro-level strategies when it comes to real-life thievery.
Who said invent? And who said pro-level strategies when it comes to thievery? No, he's taking what she's teaching him and applying it elsewhere. What are you talking about?
Combat, which she comes up with purely through playing shogi, a sport which she is...
What are you talking about? That's not what's happening here.